A decade ago, if someone were to walk down Main Street in Chattanooga's Southside neighborhood, they wouldn't see what they see today, a bustling commercial district with businesses, apartments, and townhomes aligning either side of the street. 10 years ago, Main Street would be described as what many developers and city planners called blight. In that so-called blight, however, people live there, predominantly black residents and low-income families, but they don't live there anymore. U.S. Census data show that in 2012, the zip code for Southside was 59% black and the median household income was less than $20,000 a year. By 2022, the makeup of the neighborhood was flipped on its head. By then, the neighborhood was 60% white and the annual income for the typical family was over $70,000. It's a prime example of gentrification. Amid a proposal from Nashville developer to build multifamily housing in Eastdale, residents there have pushed back. They don't want their neighborhood to gentrify like Southside did. This distrust among black residents toward new development is well warranted. Much of the wealth gap between black and white residents today can be attributed to housing and city planning policy throughout the 20th century. But in 2025, opposition to multifamily housing is not the answer. Eastdale and much of the historically black neighborhoods surrounding Chattanooga's downtown are desirable areas. There will be demand for housing there, and nothing will change that. If nothing is built on the Eastdale property, if we do not address our housing crisis, and most importantly, if the city fails to rebuild the trust of black Chattanoogans, the cost of living there will only continue to rise. Getting at the root of housing unaffordability, a low inventory of residential units, it demands denser housing in places like Eastdale. But ultimately, to adequately alleviate gentrification, we must invest in a black middle class, just like we did for white people in the mid-20th century, so that racial economic inequity becomes a thing of the past.